I don't know if they will work. It's more like an antique thing that the antique shop would like to buy instead of to have it working. But with hand, we can do everything.
The house was first founded in 1868, and customers have included Napoleon III. In 1924, it was taken over by François' father. Born into the business, Lesage went to Hollywood when he was 18, where he spent 2 years creating embroidery for the movie industry's costume designers. He returned home in 1950 after his father died to carry on the family tradition.
This business is a part of my skin. It's the reason for what. Maybe it's very bad for my family because they don't see me very much. I'm here almost all the day and all the weekend and every night until 1 or 2 in the morning. But it's such an investment, you know, and such a concentration.
Oui, alors ça, bon, that's a drawing, for example. We try to help the designer to suggest what would be the use of the embroidery. Then we have suggested a corsage with a belt which will be made with some stones and jewelry.
I try to imagine the look of the woman of the next season. And when this is decided, we make some sketches. While we preside the sketches, I accept these sketches. And after, with the process, well, we draw it more perfectly. And after it passes under a very old machine, we make little holes in the paper. It's like a transfer, like a stencil. Then we print these drawings on a piece of fabric. And I go to make my market, what I go in the fabulous stock we have, because we have about 40 or 50 tons of beads since the last century. And I choose the color, and I explain to the girls what I want and the way I want it. Then when I decide to go in a certain direction, I treat the samples and the way of the look of the samples in the taste of my customers. If I do something for Scherer, it would be more sweet and more feminine. If I do something for Dior, it must be maybe more structured. With Saint Laurent and Karl Lagerfeld, it's a little bit different. Sometimes he gives me some sketches. Sometimes he calls me from Marrakesh and he says crocodile or snake. Well, he called me and sent me a rough little sketch, and he told me, I want to have it's written, pour Monsieur Lesage, I want a cardigan with the iris and the sunflower, with no more detail.
Embroidery is very much in fashion at the moment. Lesage's business has doubled in the past 2 years, and the company's annual turnover is about $10 million. Besides French designers, Americans like Bill Blass, Jeffrey Bean, and Caroline Rome have also started to come to Lesage. The peak seasons for embroidery are January and July, when it's necessary to work around the clock to fill orders for the Haute Couture collections.
The dresses, they always arrive at the last minute. For instance, the tournesol and the sunflower and the iris of Saint Laurent was delivered on the Tuesday, 4 o'clock, and he was showing on the Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the day after. Then during 5 weeks, we work Saturday and Sunday, and almost the girls start at 8 o'clock in the morning and they finish at midnight. They make about 100 hours a week.
Lesage employs 90 seamstresses, and this labor-intensive work is expensive. The bill for a single 18-foot wrap ordered by Calvin Klein was over $40,000.
Unfortunately, the embroidery are a lot expensive for the ready-to-wear, but maybe if one day Haute Couture is probably going to be the person I'm going to work with.
I love embroidery, but I never have the opportunity to work with Monsieur Lesage because I make ready-to-wear, and it's too expensive for me and for my woman.
Designers who can afford the embroidery include trendsetters like Christian Lacroix. His extravagant styles have led the revival of haute couture, which embroidery relies on to survive.
I was not so crazy about embroideries, and I met François, and I fell in love with his works because it's so different and so special.
The Lesage exhibition features only a fraction of the work from the 20s up until the present. The company has close to 100,000 samples in its archives, a quarter of them designed by François Lesage.
Today you you see me better than I was, well, 3 weeks ago, was I was saying, well, I'm finished, I have no more ideas, oh, it's ugly, and suddenly it comes.